It gets easier. Hello, welcome to WendyPaulet TV. I'm Chinwe. Welcome back to my channel. If this is not your first time here, I hope you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. This video is a continuation of my previous video. If you've not seen it already, the link will be in the description box below so you can quickly watch it before watching this one. But honestly, I don't think you need to watch it to follow up with this one because I think you can catch up with what I'm saying. But if you don't think you can just watch the previous video so you can all be moving along with the same momentum. Still on the topic of life. If there's one thing I've learned so far in all my years on earth is that it gets easier. It gets easier and we actually see it get easier. For example, things are a lot better for us than they were for our parents. And things were a lot better for our parents than it was for their parents. Do you get? So things get easier. So that's why it confuses me when I now hear people say life is hard. Yeah, that was one of the things I opposed very well when I was a lot younger. When people make comments like life is hard, I'm like, is it really hard? Because I've seen that things actually get easier. No matter how you want to look at it, life gets easier. And I'm not even saying it to motivate or maybe just give you hope. The truth is that things actually get easier. If you look at it, no matter how terrible or horrible your life is, it gets easier. And that's one thing I've been trying to understand since I was little. Why things will be getting easier, but everybody's mantra is, oh, life is hard, life is terrible, people are evil. One, that one. If you check your own life, like your own individual life, your family, you can see progression. Like there's always a progression. It is always about progressing, moving from one stage to the other. It gets better. I've looked at my own family. I've looked at my own personal life. I've looked at my extended family. I've looked at our neighbors, everybody's life. I've looked at even people that it seems like they have it the worst. Everybody's life is getting better. So what is it about life that is hard? Yeah, that's one of the questions I asked myself. But I think I've gotten wiser. Oh my God. I saw a lot of things that were hard about life. I don't know if it's just me, but have you noticed that when you ask a question, it's as if the answer somehow shows itself in a very situational, comedic way to someone watching, but to you it's not funny. So then when I used to oppose people saying, like in my head, all these things I'm saying, it's all in my head. And then I saw the things that were hard about life. And I noticed that the things that were hard about life was the way we take things. We take life so seriously. When you take anything seriously, it gets hard, it gets difficult, it gets complicated because maybe something that was supposed to be 1 + 1 is 2. Because you now start looking at it like divide the x, of course it's going to get complicated. But now I'm a lot wiser than that. I don't ask questions again when people say, how is life hard? Because I know that they have a reason why they're saying it. Of course life is hard for them, that's why they're saying it. And they're saying it because that's the aspect they're focused on. They're focused on the hardship of life. They're not focused on the bigger picture, which is the progression that everything is about. But when you zero your mind on the nitty-gritty of life, it's just hard. It's not just that it's hard, it's exhausting. Yeah, that's a better word to use. Life is exhausting. Like you're repeating yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But the good thing about it is that life is about progression. A baby won't remain a baby for so long. Like, babies are like the best example of what life is about. All of us, we've all been babies. Me that is here saying babies are the best example of what life is about. I was once a baby, but look at me now. I have boobs, I have bum bum. When I was born, I didn't have all those things. I didn't even have teeth. But now, like, sample. So, it's always about the progression. And what if we focus on the progression? What if we focused on where we are going instead of where we are? Because a lot of people have lived this life before us. And we saw that they were born, they came, they didn't really have bones, they grew bones, they got teeth, they grew up, they developed boobs like me and Bon Bon, they got older and they died. Another person came, the same process. Another person came, the same process. And since the beginning of life as we know it on planet Earth, that's the way it has always been. People have always been coming, they'll grow teeth, they'll get tall, they'll develop all those things, they'll get older and they die. What if we looked at life that way? Because why I'm saying what if we looked at life that way is we don't really do much to grow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, whether you feed a baby or not, the baby will keep growing until it dies. Everything keeps growing until it dies. What if we actually looked at life that way instead of where we are? Because where we are is, everybody says it. Oh, life is a journey. The joy is in the journey, not in the destination. There is no destination. We say all these things every day, but how many times do we actually think about it? I think about it a lot. What if I focused on the progression? Because I've noticed that life is, like I said in the previous video, life is about perception. Life is about what you're looking at and how you see it. So if you keep seeing the same thing over and over again, your life will always be the same. You will be in that rat race where it's as if everything is repeating itself. It's like different people, different area, but the same experience. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's this thing I always jokingly say to people, like when I'm interviewing people, they'll say, oh, they've done this job for 3 years. And then when I'm asking them, what have you learned throughout those 3 years you did it? And they can't even count up to 5 things. So like, oh, this person basically did the same thing for 3 years. Like, there was no growth. Everything is meant to grow. If it's not growing, that means it's dying. You understand? And it's dying, it's changing its form or changing its essence. That's like a whole other topic. What if we didn't care so much about the little stuff? And how do we even know what the little stuff are? But even when I ask these questions, I still see that everything in life are little. Like, life is about all the little stuff, but they just come together to create this magnificent, big picture, beautiful picture that, yeah, will live forever. Do you understand? But life is exhausting when you focus on one thing. But you actually don't have to focus on one thing. There is a whole lot to focus on. Like, just the fact that your body keeps changing should be like a signal to tell you that everything is temporary. Everything is time bound. Like, everything evolves. Like, evolution is constantly taking place. Okay, let's even forget human being, like the human structure. Anything at all, even a celebrity, like someone will maybe release one song and blow. Then the next song is that the person gets better. The person gets finer. Person's voice gets better. The person gets more fun. Like, everything has its life. Because once it comes to life, once it's perceived by someone, it's as if it takes on a life of its own and it just keeps growing. And I think human beings were very, very special. We are like one of the species that we can manage a whole lot of life within our life. So maybe it can be understandable why a lot of people get stuck in one phase of their life. Maybe your body is just growing and leaving your mind out of the equation. Everything should be growing because our mind is where all the ideas come from, all the structures you see around the world, all the songs you listen to, all the paintings you admire, all the food, all the delicious food you've eaten in this world. It was all created in the mind. So I can imagine how exhausting it would be for someone that has the capacity to keep giving life to a lot of things, that has the potential to grow on their own, getting exhausted when they're tied down by just one aspect of their creation. Yeah, I've said a whole lot of things in just this few minutes. Even I need to digest that. Human beings were very special because our life is so complicated in a very simple way that it amazes me when I think about it. And I'm trying to look for the words to describe what I'm thinking right now. Life as we know it is not limited to humans and animals. I've always thought that there's life in everything. There's life in furniture. There's life in trees. Oh, we already agreed on that one. There's life in pillows, in phones, in cameras, in ring lights, in songs, in paintings. I believe there's life everywhere. And that's why some songs will last forever because it's still living. Do you understand? That's why when some musicians die, their songs live beyond them. Like they'll say, oh, it's their legacy. That's what they've created. Of course, it's their legacy. But it lives on because of the progression of life. Because everything has to keep growing. And the moment someone stops appreciating that song, human beings most especially, the moment a human being stops appreciating that song or stop perceiving that song in that manner, that song dies. Okay, bringing it back to us, I feel like why people think life gets really hard, in my own terms, exhausting, is because we get too caught up in the how. Like, how is it going to be? How is it going to work out? Imagine if we had to think about how we grow teeth. A lot of people will still be toddlers. I said that in one of my videos, like when I did the business secret from the Bible series. That was when I started thinking about that. I was like, imagine if we were the ones in charge of how our body develops. A lot of people will still be babies forever and ever because Like, who has time to figure all those things out? I think the point I'm getting to make is just the fact that we are just meant to follow the rhythm of things. Because there's already a trajectory to how everything should evolve. So it's just about keying into that path and just letting it carry you. It's like being on a stream and just going downstream with the waves. Like, you don't have to paddle, you're just going with the flow. I feel like that's what life is about. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's just, oh, relax and fold your hands and things will be done for you. But I believe that at every point in time, what you need is complete there for you. You just have to reach out and like we're climbing, like you have to just reach out and climb to the next step and climb to the next step. And don't dwell so much on what the iron is feeling like. Just keep climbing. Do you understand? Because like they said, like we all say every time, the joy is in the journey. So why not keep traveling? Why not keep moving ahead? And the reason why I reached this conclusion is because I asked myself one day, what is the most important thing in this world? Like, what is it that every single person in this world needs to survive, to live? And the answer was breath. All you need to be alive is a breath of life. Have you ever thought about that? Like, all you need to be alive is just a breath of life. Do you understand? And at every moment, you have a breath. And in that breath of life is enough to sustain you in that moment. And as the moment passes, you get another breath. Do you understand? Breath, I mean like air, oxygen. We call it oxygen, but I know it's not oxygen that keeps us alive. Because if you plug oxygen to a dead person's nose, that person is not going to come back to life. So it's that breath of life that actually keeps us alive. Imagine if you were born with a parcel of breath and they tell you these are all the breaths you have for your life. That's when life is hard. That is when you say, oh, life is hard. Because how will you manage these few breaths for all the things you want to do throughout your life? But no, it's not like that. We are born, and once we come into the earth, we take our first breath. And as we remain on earth, we keep getting a breath. Each moment, at every moment in your life, all you need to be alive is a breath. And we don't pay for it. If everything you need to be alive is just a breath, and you don't have to pay for it, you don't have to convince anybody for it, you don't have to do anything special for it. Like, once you're on this earth, it's already something that you know, as long as I'm here, a breath is going to be coming to me at every moment that I'm here. If that can be offered free of charge, why do you think you don't have to work for other things that are not even as important as a breath? Those are the kind of things I think about, and what I've found is very, very interesting. But I'm going to share it as this series goes on because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with a lot of information. In the light of a breath being all you need to be alive in a moment, have you ever noticed that when you are put on the spot, you deliver? Have you ever asked yourself why you deliver when you are put on the spot? When you don't have to make calculations, when you don't have to do do's and don'ts, when you don't have to do compare and contrast, when you are put on the spot, you actually deliver. Where do you think all those energy come from? Where do you think the information you use come from? Where do you think the confidence comes from? Where do you think everything you need to deliver at that moment comes from? And what if your life was just about being on the spot and you doing what you do on the spot? What if your life was about that? Because that is what I want my life to be about. I want my life to be this spot, this stage I'm on, and at every moment, I'm on a spot and I'm delivering. That is what I'm reaching for. If you could deliver when you're put on the spot, you didn't prepare prior, but for some miraculous reason, you deliver. What if your life was meant to be like that? What if you didn't need to worry about anything? I guess that's where I'm going to stop in this particular video till I see you again. That's all I have for you in this video. I hope you found it really useful. If you like this video and want to see more of it, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel and you get updates whenever I upload my weekly videos. But first, you have to turn on your notification. If you enjoyed this video, like and share with your friends. You never know who you might be helping. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.